The idea of home is one of the most important things at Emmaus, because these are guys who don't need another service. They don't need another program. They don't need more good-natured people kind of smiling at them. What they need is family, and what they need is home. And so many of these guys have lost that through poverty, have lost that to addictions, have lost that to their bad choices or whatever, and some of them have never experienced a home.
I ran away from home when I was 16. I've been pretty much on my own.
I was born in Chicago, but I was taken from my mother and raised by my sister down south. I was in foster care.
The first recollections I have of myself is being the invisible one, the one that nobody saw.
My mother was up here. I came up here for a while. Things didn't work out too well like I thought. I stayed with her. We had our run-in. I ran away, stayed on the streets for a while.
I started to act out. I started to, I had a learning disability in school. I was failing. They didn't know what it was, so I was labeled slow.
I can't survive out here. I don't think nobody can survive out here on their own.
At 15, I had my first drink, and it liberated me. It made everything all the uncomfortability go away. It made me funny. It made me courageous. It made me everything that I wanted to be.
One time I was out and about doing my daily deeds, and I met Larry here at Emmaus. He offered me to go down to the ministry center before the house was open, you know. And I'm like, oh, I don't know, I'll check it out. So he handed me a card and, you know, introduced me, you know. It took me 3 years to actually go down to the ministry center.
When I came to Emmaus, I was a drag queen. I was living as a drag queen.
I'm walking down the strip, and I had just did some drugs, and so now that euphoria of how am I going to get my next one, you know, all that is in my mind. So I'm looking around to see who's looking for the eye contact, and I see this young white guy.
I never thought that there was any place that would help the unforgivable people, the people that just talked about it. I never, you know, I was like, wow, there's a place where we can go.
He asked me, what's up, what's going on? And I started talking about some crazy stuff. Yeah, this is what's going on. And I had my hat backwards and, you know, a little thug mentality, you know, and I started telling him what I would do to him sexually and what I, you know, and how much I expected. And then he sat there and smiled all the time. And then he said, well, have you ever considered Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior? My bottom jaw just dropped, and I was just too through. And he laughed with me. He just, you know, this is not the first time he've experienced that. And he laughed, and he gave me a card, and he told me about Emmaus. Real simple and plain. He said it's a safe place, you know, where we get together, we have a meal, you know, you can wash up and change your clothes, and, you know, it's safe, it's all right, you know what I mean, for you guys to come down and talk. And I said, okay, I'll think about it. And I let a month go by. I was so, you know, I felt so bad and embarrassed by these crazy things I was saying to him, not knowing that he was a minister.
When I met the first person from Emmaus, I believe it might have been Krista. And I was on the street prostituting. I was on Clark and Hubbard. And she walked up to me and handed me a card and told me, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, you know, I'm not going there. You guys talking about God, and I'm a male out here on the street prostitute. I'm not gonna, you people are not gonna chew me up. And as I continued to go out there, I would always see, I just remember Krista, she would follow me. One day she stopped me from getting in the car. She said, this guy's not going anywhere. Which I'm like, lady, what are you doing?
I kept bumping into Larry. A couple times he bought me something to eat, or, you know, bought me soda or coffee or something. And always had something to say to me, you know. Always wanted to talk, so I said, let me go see what this place is about, you know. I came down, and it was pretty nice. It wasn't like an average shelter or, you know, soup kitchen, you know. It wasn't a bunch of people in line outside the door trying to get in, you know, get their ticket and go get something to eat. It was more like a home environment.
I tried to do it on my own because I thought I was all good and, you know, God myself, but playing God. But truthfully, I'm not nothing. I'm worthless without help. because I want to fall into wrong crowds, try to fit in when I'm not supposed to be there.
I seen him again. He said, you know, why haven't you come down? Why don't you come down, man? We'd like to have you for lunch. And I was still afraid, and I eventually went maybe a week later. And I've been coming here since.
Emmaus gave me a place where I could come and be safe. I didn't have to worry about turning my next trick. I didn't have to worry about who's the next caper I'm going to pull off. I didn't have to worry about. It just gave me a place where I could come and look at myself and decide, what do I want?
The way that they accepted me, they remembered me. It's when you finally came. They fed me, gave me a shower. They didn't judge me. They just accepted me. As I came around more, then they started to tell me it's a better way to live.